Super quick disclaimer before we get started, everything we're about to cover is based on real historical records, and just to be absolutely clear, we do not endorse any illegal activities whatsoever. All right, buckle up.
Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to be moving at literal breakneck speed today to uncover the totally bizarre, entirely accidental origins of our modern world. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive right into this. If I asked you what the very first e-commerce transaction was, you'd probably guess, what, an Amazon book? Maybe a really early eBay auction? Nope. Try a weed deal in 1971. Decades before the commercial web was even a glint in anyone's eye, a group of Stanford students actually used ARPANET, highly secure military technology. And they used it to securely arrange a cannabis purchase with some guys over at MIT. The payment was in person, sure, but the transaction? Completely online. So yeah, literally, forget eBay. The internet's very first product was pot. It's wild to think that today's massive, multi-trillion-dollar digital economy basically traces its rebellious roots back to college students pushing the limits of military tech just to score a quick deal.
But hey, what about the glitches in those early systems? Whenever our apps crash today, we instinctively blame bugs. But where did that actually start? Well, back in 1947, engineers who were working on Harvard's massive Mark II computer logged this exact historical phrase, "first actual case of bug being found."
And this brilliantly illustrates how the term bug, which actually already existed in engineering slang, suddenly became completely literal. Because the cause of the malfunction? An actual literal moth that got stuck inside the relay. They just taped the poor thing right into their logbook.
Okay, moving on. How did a ruined candy bar change your kitchen forever? Seriously, think about it. Check out this timeline. Back in 1945, an engineer named Percy Spencer was running some radar experiments. Suddenly, he notices that the high-powered microwaves actually melted a chocolate bar right inside his pocket. But instead of panicking, the guy pivots, and boom, the microwave oven is born. No massive blueprints, no endless lab tests, just a confused guy in a ruined snack.
Let's pivot over to pop culture for a second. Why exactly is Hollywood located in sunny California? Well, it's actually because early filmmakers were quite literally fleeing west to escape Thomas Edison. He was aggressively filing hostile copyright lawsuits back in New Jersey, and they needed courts that were a little less friendly to his patents. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we are officially entering the rapid-fire zone of unbelievable historical firsts. You ready? First up, 1750 BC. A guy named Nani actually wrote out the world's very first customer complaint on a 4,000-year-old clay tablet because he was sold some bad copper. And then in 530 BC, a Babylonian princess named Ennegaldi Nana was running the world's very first museum, filled with antiques that were already 1,500 years old to her. 1796. We really need to hit that year hard. Why? Because that was the year an English flax mill in Shropshire used the very first iron frame to support its weight, literally creating the exact structural blueprint for every single modern skyscraper today.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Imagine the year 1843. In America, you've got rugged pioneers slowly crossing the Oregon Trail in covered wagons. Meanwhile, over in Scotland, Alexander Bain is busy inventing the very first fax machine to send documents electronically. I mean, the contrast is just mind-blowing.
8 miles per hour. That was the absolutely blistering, reckless speed that a guy named Walter Arnold was doing in an 1896 2-mile-per-hour zone. And because of that, he got slapped with the world's very first recorded speeding ticket, costing him 47 shillings. But the absolute best part of this whole thing? The police officer chased him down by pedaling furiously on a bicycle, an actual high-speed pursuit on a bike.
So it really makes you wonder, right? If our highly structured modern world was basically built on squished moths, melted chocolate, and a 1971 weed deal, what totally bizarre accidents are shaping our future right now? Something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer, and stay curious.